about creating your own solutions to overcome different situations.
Alright, well, I have covered this topic a lot over this past week and a half, but Ubisoft actually put out a response that I have been kind of expecting, to be quite frank. I knew this would come. Ghost Recon Frontline's closed beta test has been postponed, possibly indefinitely, possibly just for now, but Ubisoft did put out this image on Twitter with this message. We have decided it's best to postpone the closed test for Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Frontline. The development team is dedicated to creating the best experience possible. We'll share details on the new date for the closed beta as soon as we can. Thank you for your ongoing support. Well, this is kind of bittersweet, to be honest. Bittersweet news to hear today. It's sweet because it shows that Ubisoft actually received the message and they gave the angry community a response to everything that went down. But it also kind of shows to me that they may not have enough people signing up for that closed beta, because it was scheduled to go tomorrow, and the fact that they put out this message today means that last minute they figured like, hey man, this may not be good to have going tomorrow because we don't have enough players, and it might be a little embarrassing, and the players that do play it may talk about how there's barely anyone playing it, which would just further snowball the effect of how this game may not be that successful. So they didn't just hide and ignore the response from the community like they normally do. They didn't carry on like nothing is going all peachy like they normally do. They heard, and let's be honest, they heard, but how could you not see the reaction, and how could you not hear what this game got? The backlash was insane. I mean, you guys probably saw my videos on it. I was pretty fucking pissed off, and I made sure I made that apparent and aware to Ubisoft. I wanted to send a message to them. So frankly, I don't regret what I said. I said what I said, and I meant every word. And I also had follow-up discussions that were a little bit calmer, that talked a little bit deeper about all the topics as well. Like I said, as much as I get mad, as much as I show passion and anger towards some of the things I dislike, it comes from a good place, because I have been playing this series for 20 years. In one of my videos, I cycle through the games like a deck of cards, showing you all my games. I own all the copies of these games, physical copies of them. So I have been a fan for quite a long time. So my anger comes from a good place. It's like when you argue with a spouse. I mean, like, you know, you love them at the end of the day. You want to make your point that you're pissed off and that they did something that upset you. But I honestly think that one of the biggest things that came from this announcement was just the poor timing of this announcement. It didn't do Ubisoft any fucking favors, let's be real here. All it did was add to the level of anger that was seen amongst fans in the stream, myself included, because why? Seriously, why would you use the 20th anniversary of Ghost Recon to showcase a new, non-tactical battle royale first-person quote-unquote Ghost Recon shooter? It literally steals the Ghost Recon name and the Tom Clancy name just so it would have boosted sales for Ubisoft. It was so obvious what they were trying to do there. It was just poor planning, and it was poor decision making. It wasn't even poor planning and poor decision making, it was just fucking stupid, to be quite frank. The timing of it was bad. Maybe 3 or 4 years ago, during the Wildland days, where I heard some chit chat here and there, someone messaged me recently saying that, you know, this was a thing that the community kind of talked about a little bit back then, back in like 2017, 2018, a little discussion, some light discussion, some talks here and there about making Ghost Recon potentially a battle royale style mode, maybe as attack on the Wildlands. Not so much its own game, but there was word that this was a thing that the community wanted. But 4 years ago is 4 years ago, guys. Come on, we're in 2021 now. You see the state of Ghost Recon as a whole. You see the reaction, both negative and positive, to both Wildlands and Breakpoint. You guys know what you're getting yourselves into. You should not have announced what you announced, especially not have done it on the 20th anniversary. Like I said, maybe the game would have been taken more positively by fans if it had tactical gameplay and third-person view, but Frontline was shown off way too late, like I said, and the gameplay mechanics shown just aren't up to par with other tactical shooters, I'm sorry. I didn't even need to play this game at all to even see that it just was made up of a lot of recycled elements from Breakpoint when they showcased the abilities to drop metal objects out of the sky and only squads of 3. I knew the direction was off. I knew something was wrong here. here. They even said it, you don't play as ghosts in Ghost Recon Frontline, you play as contractors. Let that sink in just for a quick little moment. I just knew immediately that they completely fucked up. They should have known better. How could a company be this fucking clueless to what the fans want? I can't even say it without laughing. At this point, I can't say it without laughing. How could you honestly put messaging out to your fans in your announcements and tweets saying you listen to the fan feedback and all that, and yet you still seem so absolutely clueless as to what to do for your anniversaries as well as your new game projects? Now guys, this is a problem that needs to be resolved internally at Ubisoft. They need to sit down in a room, get a good look at themselves, and ask themselves, what are we doing here? Why are people saying what they are saying? Make a list of all the positives and negatives and start listing them out on a whiteboard, guys. Start with a quick little powwow brainstorm between you and your teams. You internally, guys, Ubisoft, you guys need to figure out yourselves what you are doing wrong, and it's all right there for you. Your fans don't need to figure out what Ubisoft is doing wrong. We know exactly what you guys are doing wrong, but you guys don't know what you're doing wrong. So please have a seat and listen and read and then make those lists and put that stuff together. It will benefit you guys. All the fan feedback that you apparently listen to, all you got to do is dip into that and apply that when you put your list together. Now Ubisoft, you guys say you have a quote-unquote Delta company which consists of Ghost Recon content creators who are sort of, I guess, liaisons between you and the community. I would say listen to them. And don't kick them out when they say something on a public forum that challenges your poor design thinking and your poor decision making, not only in game design, but in your poor business decisions as well. Don't kick them out. Listen to them. Now Ubisoft, I'm talking to you, yes you, the guys in the boardrooms, the ones with the money. Put yourselves in a room, get your top dev guys, get your team leads, get the ones who need to develop these games based off of the limitations you are giving them, both financially and just in terms of just what you see out there in the market. Get your writers, the ones who write those very realistic sounding missions and story branches. I'm talking about those games prior to Wildlands, the ones with those very well done mission briefings. They were stellar. Just have a legitimate discussion off the cuff, off the clock even. Just make it an honest, open discussion and be honest with each other and just figure your shit out, okay? Alright, so will Frontline be scrapped? Who knows? It's tough to say because Ubisoft just does the unexpected. They just do the unexpected choice every single time, and it's often the wrong choice. Well, at this stage, I guess they will try. They will try and update a couple of the small things, maybe a couple of the game mechanics in hopes that that will win fans back over. Maybe they'll remove the dropping of the objects from the sky thing and think, hey, maybe that alone will win people over. Maybe they'll keep those mechanics in and make Frontline a third-person shooter. Maybe be a mix of both. Who knows? But they really need to completely redesign Frontline, in my opinion, if they think this will hit the target audience that they say they are so passionate and pleasing. Because to please us, we want a return to form in tactics, a return to form in mission design, and we want a slower, tactical game with really well-polished gunplay. If you are going to do an overhaul of Frontline, you got to get all that stuff right, and maybe then I'll even play it, despite how much I complain about it. Alright guys, well that's it for me today. A little short video, just a quick little update. I wanted to kind of squeeze in there on Frontline because this tweet came out today, and I kind of wanted to just get this message out to you guys. So, what are your thoughts? If you have any suggestions for Ubisoft, share them below in the comments. If they are looking at the community feedback like they say they so passionately are, I'm sure they'll come across this video, as they will many other videos. And hopefully they do look at the comments, because you guys are always so fueled with amazing, incredible comments. As much as you guys are pretty damn harsh, harsher than me sometimes, you guys can offer some really good advice and some great ideas that I think they could definitely dip into. So, even if they don't see it, I'll definitely heart your comment anyway, and as always guys, thanks for watching, and take it easy.